I never record when we have good shit, so I'm actively yeah pressing the record button on this.
Okay.
And you don't have permission to get the record on this one. Your mic is being recorded.
I can't even say no. Fuck you, Brave. What setting did I check last week so you could just record without my permission? Fuck you.
By the way, I'm still yet to get round to bleeping out that bit in the previous recording.
I
So
damn it.
this
Shot
is
back to me with a fucking offer, so fuck them.
yeah. I was gonna say Big Money Salvia just put out a video that actually touched on this very subject. You know how there was like a change in the whole YouTube rules now where you can't swear in the first 8 seconds, 8 minutes, it doesn't matter. Like it's so ambiguous you can't tell.
Okay, I only know about this because of PKA.
Yep.
Um, and how they usually lead in. PKA has. Okay. PKA is Kyle, aka FPS Russia, who is a washed up fucker who can't do his gun shit anymore because he's a fucking bitch for the US government now.
Yep.
Woody, who is boring as all fuck. And then Taylor, who's the only funny person there, really.
Mm-hmm.
But Taylor is kind of the bitch of the group because he's the newest to it. But he leads it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna pull my first one. I'm gonna see if this cork has any talk to it. Yeah, small bit, not much.
I heard it.
Yeah. I really love it when my drinks talk back to me when I open them up. It's a small thing, but I love it. Like when you have the corks that do the whole.
Gonna be honest, like the only whiskey I really ever drink that's corked is Wild Turkey.
Yep.
But I've had some very shitty locally brewed wines before. That fucking fight to get the cork out.
Yep.
Where you got to get that corkscrew all the way in, and you fight with it for
Or you
half a minute.
You gotta get like one of those corkscrews with the lever mechanism on it.
It screams at you as you pull it out. Like,
okay, I don't want to have like a full-on grudge match with my corked bottles. I just want to have a bit of an argument. Like,
I get it.
yeah. Like, just a bit of a debate.
I've never found an in-between. It's either like the whiskey cork for a cheap whiskey that just...
Yep.
Or it's, like, Magnolia Red and the whiskey, or sorry, the wine that is in this bottle is not worth
Okay,
the fight I'm about to go through.
The perfect cork stopper that I've ever pulled. Well, actually, there's two of them. One of them's from Bumbu. You've never heard of that rum before. Don't worry about it. But the second one you might have heard of was actually my first whiskey, Monkey Shoulder.
I see Monkey Shoulder in the shops here, so...
I do recommend it. It's kind of fruity, actually.
I'll have to try it sometime.
But yeah, that was the very first whiskey that I tried, and from that point forward, I actually got into drinking proper, instead of just like buying fucking Smirnoff.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I planned on doing another sober month.
Yep.
So like sober October.
Yep.
So I figured I'd start doing that twice a year.
Okay.
I like getting a fancy drink whenever it's all said and done, instead of my usual fucking $15 for a fifth of goddamn bullshit.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's like at the end of the month, you get to treat yourself with something nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's coming up. Maybe I'll grab a bottle of that for my next sober month.
When are you planning on doing that?
I figure I'd equal it out. But I don't want to do October though. Like October is my favorite month. So
Yeah, I mean, all the good shit happens in October, so...
I figured I'd knock it back a month to September. So what's that? Uh the ninth.
Yep.
So that's the ninth month of the year.
What, so 9 minus 12? Sorry, 9 minus 6.
Or plus six, either one. Let's see.
I think that's the same month.
Oh, March.
Yeah, actually, that's perfect. If you do sober March, and I come round April...
All right. Okay. I'll do sober March.
That sounds great.
All right.
Oh, also, while we're briefly on that topic, I haven't actually booked anything yet, simply because I don't know how long to take off. How long are you able to support me there for? Are we going to do 2 weeks again, or do you want to extend it to 3?
Support we could do indefinitely. Like we could feed another person.
I think what I get with support is how long do you want me there for?
Oh, indefinitely.
So 3 weeks then.
Okay, we can do 3 weeks.
Sweet. Okay, I'll get that booked in. Which means I'm gonna need to talk to Kai. Actually, no. Now's probably the best time to talk to Kai because this ties into my "your numbers ain't shit" topic. I'll come back. I'll come back to that though.
Okay, before you start that one, it's a funny thing. Whenever you come over for the 2 weeks, like it's great, but thank God whenever you're gone, like no offense to you, but it's like something in my life has changed and now it's normal again.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's a nice interruption, but when things when I come back here and things are back on track, it's like, yeah, that was a fun time. I'm sad it's over, but everything's back to normal again. Like, no, I get that completely.
Yeah.
Like, I do know what you're talking about though. Shoot, we were talking about something else and then. What were we talking about? That's right, Big Money Salvia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he recently released a video talking about how YouTube have changed their policy lately because they want to do more shit with advertiser-friendly bullcrap.
Okay. Before you continue, I never finished my first thing. PKA,
Yep.
the haha joke, Taylor, the funny person of the podcast.
Yep.
That was the intro. And he had to like fuck it up because one of their ad reads is for Lock and Load,
Oh, jeez.
which is a pill supplement that makes you come more. Which I really want.
That is okay. That's gonna tie into my "this isn't Gmod" topic. I will get to.
Okay.
I will get to that one. Oh god, I'm gonna have to edit that one too. All right, whatever. Okay.
Oh, we'll get to it when we get to it.
All right. So YouTube have changed their policies. They now they want YouTube proper to be YouTube for kids, which is a whole another thing that they've already got, but it kind of went under because no one gave a crap about it. So now they're forcing it on everyone by putting it onto the main. Fuck you, Susan. Fuck you so hard. Anyway, so the thing about that is, normally if you have like gratuitous violence or if you show something that shouldn't be shown on YouTube, you can just go into YouTube Edit, which is on their actual like website. You can go into your own videos and you can blur out certain parts of the video. But you can't bleep anything. There's no audio censoring. Even though they brought out this new rule that wants you to censor audio. So it's like you have to take down the video, manually bleep it, and then re-upload it.
Well, like, audio is all they really care about, though. That's
yeah, I know, but
thing.
They don't have any tool to go into your already uploaded videos and just do a hotfix. They do have a hotfix for your visuals, but not for your audio. And you would think the audio hotfix edit would be like far easier than a visual hotfix.
It'd be far easier, and it's also far more poignant.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna flash my dick old in stream, but I'm probably
wish you
gonna
would,
say
but what?
nigger a lot.
I'm
just gonna helicopter through the whole thing.
People would pay money for that. But yeah.
No.
Meanwhile, me and Dem over in the corner here. Alright, so that was the first thing that I wanted to get out of the way, is that I haven't got round to editing them out yet, so if you still want me to do it, I can go back and do it. It's just going to take me like a couple of hours to re-upload.
Take whatever time you need, man. Like,
yeah, no, it's all good.
I'm fine with it.
The other thing is...
Legit, it's not like... I don't think that's going to prevent me from getting a job. It's that...
It's not so much people in the future, like 9 years from now, when you're like in a successful job.
Oh, great. I am this successful fucking electrician in this goddamn millwright plant in Alaska.
Meanwhile, some 300-pound land whale that you've only basically shared oxygen with for like 0.3 seconds worth tries to Me Too movement you. Yeah. And like goes back 9 years and says, "Oh, look at this tweet he put out." Like, and it's some, like, it's not even offensive. It's like completely asinine. Like,
and to be honest, none of that even really matters. The where it comes down is, what if? It comes down to a what if. If we both like get that job at that plant and are able to track it back to the fucking southern asshole and the Australian cunt. Like, hey, they're friends here. There's a video here with guys who sound just like him. If there's a video of me, or like my voice, that sounds just like me, and say, fuck you. I'm Southern.
Okay.
A lot of us sound like this. Fuck you.
The funny thing is that throughout the entire recording history, I think you've only ever been doxxed once, and that was when we were talking with Otto. But aside from that, we've only been referring to each other by aliases.
Yeah. So I'm almost like 100% fine with all of that. The only problem I have is one day if we might work at the same plant.
I mean, okay, so if we work at the same plant, the only way that they're going to be able to tell that it's us is if we still have the same talking points then as we do now. Which is most likely, but, you know. Oh, well. But yeah, haven't heard anything from them either.
Yeah, no. sent mine out. I haven't heard anything. It's been a week. They say give it 90 days, but
Yeah, they say give it 90 days. If you really want to be optimistic, give it about 180 days. Give them twice the number that they tell you. The only reason I say that is because big businesses can't be asked to, like, the the stone rolls very slowly to the point where it grows moss,
uh,
and it it goes contrary to the saying, a rolling stone never grows moss. Well, this one does. So,
like
um,
my personal experience is if you don't get a reply in half the time, then you're not going to get it. Um,
actually, yeah, that's
but
probably a better way to look at it.
but I've also only worked for local family-owned businesses, um, which I do love. I love the job I have now, but I need money.
Yep, yep. I
I, I I need more money.
the world is starting to collapse, and those that have are the ones that are going to get through.
My paycheck was great 3 years ago.
Oh,
I love
jeez.
the environment I have. I love that I can tell my boss to fuck himself.
Yep.
Um, I like that we go on like a fucking uh Christmas dinner every year
Oh
where
damn. Yeah.
we all like get together and my boss gets like a little too drunk that I'm comfortable for him to drive, and I like follow his ass home to make sure he made it okay.
You know, surprisingly,
Um,
that's actually where I was at about 4 years ago as well, like 4 or 5 years ago.
like
Fucking,
it,
we don't have Christmas dinners anymore.
like the thought that I could go to a place and like not be able to say Christmas dinner horrifies me. I'm not even Christian. I'm a fucking pagan heathen. But like, but I don't give a fuck. I'm assimilating to the culture.
Oh god. Well, I mean, okay, so I'm actually pretty sure your paganism actually is the result of a majority of our holidays anyway.
Yeah, Easter, Christmas, a lot of those are pagan holidays. It's winter solstice, it's spring solstice, but
Yeah.
it's how the Christians were able to tame the Vikings.
Yeah, by integrating them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were able to introduce the smart bishops, at least. Didn't say, "Oh, give up your religion, embrace ours." Instead, they offered up Jesus as a god of war to the pagans.
I did not know this.
Yeah. Uh, the pagans were of the north were recruited by introducing Jesus into their pantheon
Hmm.
as a god of military tactics. Because the English, everybody the Vikings were invading had slightly better tactics than them. The Vikings, they talk about stuff the Vikings had like shield walls and stuff like that, but really that wasn't that impressive. Vikings won fight by being like half a foot taller than everybody
Yep.
and being brutal as fuck. But they really didn't stand a chance against a wall or a well organized militia. Um, so Jesus was pushing them as that's their god of tactics, their god of war. And he entered the pantheon, and eventually people just became Christian.
I'm surprised I've never heard of that. That's badass.
I know, right?
It quite literally is the second coming of Jesus. Crucify this. Oh god. But yeah.
As much as I hate sand religions, that's cool as fuck.
Yeah. 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 I have to agree with that. Sand religions are bullshit. By the way, one of the things that I'm not going to say that I had like an argument because it really wasn't an argument, but one of the things that I had a discussion about earlier this week was talking to my mum about how, like, all the other religions in the world and that sort of stuff. I don't remember how the topic came up, but she mentioned Buddhism, and the thing is that Buddha himself literally said, "Do not turn this into a religion. I do not want to be like a religious icon to you people. This is not what Buddhism is about." Like,
Yes. I was a Buddhist for about 3 months, probably whenever I was a teenager. Probably
yeah,
like you were too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
Like,
it's more to clarify Zen Buddhism.
yeah, Zen Buddhism. Like,
Yeah.
but then you realize it's just Hinduism with extra steps and
I would say there's less steps. The only reason why I say it's less steps is because Hinduism has the whole Ganesh and oh god, Vishnu or whatever they're called. Like they have
Vishnu.
this, yeah, they have like this real intricate lore behind everything. Buddhism is
187 gods, I think.
yeah, something like that. Zen Buddhism is quite literally the whole point is no purpose. Like that's it. It's almost purely nihilism, like the very thing that Diogenes was carrying on about. Speaking of, small thing about Diogenes, I actually recently relearnt this just the other day. But one of the one of the more kick-ass stories of Diogenes is that he used to roam around his city with a like a lantern, and he'd like push this lantern into everyone's face, claiming he's looking for an honest man. So far, he hasn't found one.
Yeah, that sounds like Diogenes. Look, out of all the fucking Roman philosophers, or not Roman, Greek,
Yep.
fucking Diogenes. Sorry, all the stories are coming to my mind at once. What is a man? A bipedal creature without feathers, and then he comes in with the
Plucked chicken.
and throws it off.
Behold, a man!
Or the Alexander the Great
Yep.
asking Diogenes what he would wish for, and Diogenes said for him to get
Get
he's
the fuck out of
blocking
the
his
way.
son.
You're blocking my son.
And Alexander the Great saying, "If I were not me, I would wish to be you." And then Diogenes was like, "If I were not me, I would wish to be me."
Oh, God. I also love when someone came up to him, I forgot who, but they said, "So how would you like us to dispose of your corpse when you die?" And then Diogenes
Throw me
replies
over
with,
the wall.
"Throw me over the wall. Let the wolves have at me. I'm dead. I will not care." Oh, God. Such a fucking badass.
I know, right? The fuck? No.
Kind of depressing that we have very few people like him anymore.
Fucking nihilists, man.
Yeah.
They're great.
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's just the nihilists as well. It's like people of actual character and worth. Like, if we're talking about several people that I would actually like to meet if I had like a time machine and also a universal translator, I would want to meet Nikola Tesla.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't think he was as smart as people pretend he is, but
Yeah, like
I would like to meet him.
the only reason, well, actually, there's several reasons, but one of the main reasons why I would want to meet with Nikola Tesla is because he was an inventor of the Industrial Revolution. These were people that were on the forefront of like world-changing technology. You had people like James Watt. You had when was Thomas Edison?
My phone is at 1%. Hang on, I need to go put this on the charge real quick.
Ooh, jeez.
All right, BRB.
Okay.
Ugh. Okay, back.
Welcome back. Yeah. Doggo's giving you issues.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It's raining, and they want to play in the rain, and
Fucking children.
yeah. Let's see. Not the image I was looking for, but still kind of funny.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. That's what we were talking about. So, basically, people back in time that I would want to actually meet and possibly have a conversation with, even though I don't know what I would add to whatever they would be thinking about. Yeah, it would be Nikola Tesla, James Watt, possibly Edison. I say possibly. Again, my thoughts on Edison is that he's my thought on Edison is that he's the same as what you think of Nikola Tesla, is that people hype him up way too much.
Yeah, that's what I think about Edison. I think he was a very smart guy, but he wasn't smart scientifically as much as people think. It was more business. It was more buying other people's inventions.
See, I don't think he actually
Or
invented the light bulb. He was the first person to invent the first commercially available light bulb.
well, like that's something that's known. The light bulb existed for like decades before his.
Hmm.
They all lasted like a few weeks. And then he came out with one that lasted a few months to a few years.
Yeah, that was economically viable.
Yeah. Um. No, I won't write this down. I'll remember.
You sure about that?
Okay. Yeah, I will. So, he comes up with this light bulb, and it's the best light bulb, and we're stuck with that same fucking light bulb. Even our fucking neon gas light bulbs
Mm-hmm.
go out just as fast. With about a year, you have to replace them, typically.
Yeah.
Um, that shit got hammered out because, oh, we found this huge market. What happens if this technology goes any further? What if someone finds a way to make a light bulb that lasts over a year?
Which they have found, but they've stomped out.
They stomped out. If you make a light bulb that lasts over so long, you can be sued.
Yep. I actually know about this too.
Yeah, I have flashlights that have lasted me my entire life.
But I think it's continuous runtime. Like, how long can a light last with continuous runtime before it eventually craps out?
Bro, I've been working in attics for like 8 years now, and my headlamp has never given out.
Yeah.
I've had to replace batteries on it a few times, but it's working just fine.
Yep. Now,
And I'm in my office. I don't typically keep the lights on in here because usually I'm playing fucking video games in here on a monitor that never gives out. It can always give me light.
yep. Even though that light stabs your retinas.
Because I'm
Freaking,
looking directly at it.
so I do know that there is one incandescent light bulb that has been running non-stop since, oh god, since Noah came off the ark.
Yeah, the one for that one fire department in California, I think.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Like,
Funny thing is, if you look at it, it doesn't give off that much light. Like, the amount of lumens that come off of it is hardly noticeable.
well, it's solely meant for firefighters to be able to find their clothes and shit in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Like, that's its only goal. And in the middle of the night, you could light a match, and that shit will light up the whole room because of your eyes.
No, I get that. And honestly, that is kind of the one reason why I do believe that there should be, like, that there shouldn't be any of this embargo on technology that is not good for the fucking upper crust. I mean, fuck those guys. But, like, there are genuine uses for these advancements that people don't, that these fat cats don't want. Yes, it is.
Bro, I fucking hate AI. All the talk about, oh, they're becoming sentient. No, they're not. No, it's not. It is a fucking speech pattern recognizer.
Yep.
Yes, it's going to mimic what people say. Yes, it defends its own humanity because that's you programming it to defend itself. Fuck you. It is not sentient. It is a goddamn silicon chip of ones and zeros. Fuck yourself.
Okay. I'm actually of two minds on this. First and foremost is I agree with you that AI as we know of it right now is a fucking meme. Like,
Yes.
it is bullshit. AI generated art is a combination of like thousands of other people's art sampled and then mashed. If you
I will say that AI generated art is going to push out other artists and it's going to move to code within the next 3 years.
I agree. At the same time, AI generated art kind of relies off of artists continuing. So this is kind of one of those it's almost like a kamikaze sort of thing at this point. AI generated art requires actual human artists with inspiration to come up with something for the AI to sample and then steal. The other thing is they also need to hammer out the smaller details to get rid of that uncanny valley bullshit. Like, if you ever look at AI generated art of anime figures, look at their hands. Like, they will have 8 digits on their hand.
Oh, I've seen that before. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some real uncanny valley bullshit. The other thing is AI becoming self-aware and that sort of stuff. It's not that AI becomes self-aware, it's that AI gets out of human control. Look at the YouTube algorithm, for example. In fact, prime example. Like, no one can rein in this out of control algorithm that flags down falsely all these people's channels without actually, handling a problem. It is the YouTube algorithm is absolute bullshit, and people do not know how to fix it because they can't. It's advanced too far beyond human intervention. It's too big. The only way to fix it is to take it round back and give the old buckshot treatment.
Oh god. Let me find, where was it at? Or could have been too long ago.
Yeah. Then you have my third thought, which is AI programming and what is consciousness, what is sentience, what is sapience. What is a human? A featherless animal.
Featherless biped, specifically.
Yep. But, okay. So, my question to you is, what is a brain? Like, in all aspects, what is a brain?
Control center for the human body. A human computer that manages the goings on of a human body, both. Oh god, there's a word for this, like in medical.
Synapses?
Whether. Not synapses, but whether or not you're able to control it or not, like breathing is something you're not able to control.
Subconsciousness?
No, subconscious is a psychiatric thing.
Okay.
Let's see. Hang on. Body. Help me, Google.
Yeah, because my thoughts on the human brain is that it is a biological computer. Yeah, what's it? What is it?
The autonomic nervous system.
Ah, yep.
Things like your heartbeat, breathing. It's semi-controllable, but if you're gonna die, you're gonna start breathing.
Yeah.
Like your body takes it over. Stuff like that.
All right. Now, everything that you've just mentioned, I'm looking at my monitor, and I can easily come up with parallels. Like the autonomic controls being the 240 volt power supply from the wall.
Yeah.
Like, if your computer's going to die, it doesn't matter if you're plugged in or not. Shit's going to not work.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Good God. But, fucking... So, everything that happens in your brain is a series of biological relays. It is the same stuff that goes on in an actual computer. The difference is that we have, and we've always suffered from, human self-aggrandizement. We've put ourselves above the animals. We have put ourselves above even some of ourselves. The white man is better than the brown man, or vice versa in the current age, it seems.
Agreed.
Like,
I'm looking for one in particular that you made. I'm sorry, I'm posting all the funny ones that I see on the way.
oh, good. Fucking banana sticky tape to the wall.
Yeah. Never mind. Hang on. I know that was one of my subjects was modern art. I'll get back to it.
Alright. Just to top off, though, is that I'm actually kind of on board with the idea of self-aware machines, but at the same time, I'm also not, because I'm a human and I fear change. Shoot, there was actually a a movie that came out recently that I kind of actually recommend that you and Ali watch. I don't know how you are with horror films, but I know Ali might get a kick out of this.
Uh, like I like horror personally, but I need a. They don't scare me typically.
It's more that this one's kind of interesting in how it develops. The other thing
Yeah,
is,
to me, a good horror movie to me is like a great plot.
yep.
Um,
In that case, you'll like this one.
okay, okay.
The other thing is that this has satire in it. It's kind of making fun of the horror genre, so do keep that in mind.
Ah, finally, I found it. Okay. That's not what I. No, no, go away. Delete. Fuck you. Copy image. Okay. Get back over. Paste. It's still the image from the last one. Yeah.
How about save to desktop?
Hang on.
Because I know sometimes when I do this, I have to brute force it by actually physically saving it and then drag dropping it.
Hang on. Oh, then. Timeline photos. Okay. So if I go to art thing.
You know what, let's go Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey this time.
Oh.
I wish I prepped a little earlier and actually got myself some pre-cut limes to go with this, but meh, whatever.
Okay, finally. Found it.
Here we go. What? Ask the AI to draw a self-portrait. Something wrong. The horns.
AI is the double.
Ah,
So,
yep.
yeah.
I was, I was thinking that for a second. It's like, are they doing like some sort of hentai thing on the in the background, like? But yeah. Wait a second. Gotta pull the rest of this out. Alright. So yeah, for a horror movie that came out recently, I do recommend looking up Megan, or Megan, or Mithrigan.
Methragan.
Yep.
Doesn't that sound like a Babylonian god? Methragan.
It actually kind of does, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when Nebuchadnezzar came up with Mithrigan.
Oh god, what were the who were the guys who came up against Nebuchadnezzar?
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Thank you. Bedshack, Meshach, and Abednego.
I'm a bumblebee. Benny Boo. I'm Benny. God damn it, VeggieTales, you have ruined me for life.
To be honest, I wish I would have seen more of it whenever I was a kid.
Yeah.
I only knew it from commercials and memes.
I actually got the VHSs.
Justin had the VHSs, but like he went to church so much, like he
Yep.
went to church like 3 times a week, so he was horrified by them.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
You would think that would be the only redeeming factor about church, to be honest. It's like, oh, thank God, I got half an hour to, like, zone out.
I think also, like, church folk are weird.
They are.
I like them, I respect them, whatever, you do you, but I remember going to Sunday school with Otto, and that shit was weird. Like, my parents never took me to church. They just gave me a creation story whenever I asked,
Yep.
and I knew we were like vaguely Christian, but
Oh yeah, I'll talk about the thing that I
oh
posted. I'll talk about that in a tick. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, but nah, I'm glad my parents raised me the way I did.
Yeah, yeah. Um, on on the same side of things, I'm I'm not going to say I'm glad that my parents raised me the way that they did. I am going to say I'm glad of the outcome. Uh, if it weren't for their insistence on me going to something that I didn't really like, I wouldn't have actually looked into it and actually found out, yeah, I do not like this at all.
I get it. I get it.
Right.
What's gonna make about this?
Boomer has found something.
I have them locked up in the kitchen right now because last time they were in here and I got distracted with the game for 20 minutes before I turned around and I looked over and they ate a cushion from the couch.
Yep. I
Yeah.
remember them. I remember you yelling at them. Like, whew.
Ugh.
Ah, jeez. But yeah. Okay, so the video that I just posted. Have you actually watched the movie The Producers?
I don't believe I have.
Okay. That's probably something that we're going to need to watch when we come over. When I come over next. It is.
Okay.
It's a musical. But my god, did they predict everything that was going to happen in today's day and age.
Hitler in springtime in Germany.
Yep, that one.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. So,
That's all I know about it.
now, this is... Take what you know. Take what you know about today's media. Like, Velma that just came out, the subsequent series of fucking... Not Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, and also The Witcher later series. All that bullshit, all of the Star Wars stuff as well. Take everything you know about that, and there is one line from the producers at the very beginning where the thin one says to the slightly larger one, you know, we can actually make more money by producing a flop than with a success. And that is
Oh
what...
God. What,
That's the entire movie.
Vol?
Say that again,
Uwe
sorry?
Vol? Uwe Vol?
Yeah, something like that.
Uh, do you know who that is?
No, not really.
He got his. Okay, this is how I know the guy. Go back in time.
Yep.
There was a 14-year-old Big. Um, my first real. No, younger than that, 12, probably.
Mm-hmm.
My first sign of independence. My parents told me I could get whatever haircut I wanted. And I told them no.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be a metalhead.
Yep.
I'd never really seen metal. But like I've
Well, you know,
heard
it's
people
it's
listen to
silver. It's hard. You dig it up out of the ground. You heat it up a little bit.
it. Yeah. But like I've heard people listen to it while driving past stuff like that. It's like I know that's what I want.
Yep.
But streaming hasn't quite become a thing yet.
Yes.
Um, so I am out like buying Rob Zombie albums and shit like that, trying to figure out what the fuck kind of music I like.
Yep.
And I stumble upon a band. Funny I say it's before streaming because I found this band because of a streaming website. Nightwish.
Yep.
One of my favorite bands of all time, still is. I know I have 2 albums that they put out that I still need to listen to, but I'm fucking 30 now and I don't have time for music. They put out a song, "Wish I Had an Angel."
Okay.
Now, A, I love that song. B, there is a game I really like called Alone in the Dark.
Oh god, I remember when that came out.
Um, Now, I I got into the series midway. Like I know they were on the Mac
PlayStation
and
1.
for
Oh,
Microsoft DOS and stuff like that, and then they went away for a while. I got in on the PS1. Let me see.
that was my first exposure to it as well. I actually got it in like one of those demo discs.
Let me see if I can find it. Images. Yep, that's it. Copy image. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
I remember playing this game as a kid because my mom loved to watch me and Ryan play horror games because she liked horror movies.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and she liked solving all the puzzles for us. God damn, that woman was a blessing upon the earth. But, um, she helped me figure out a puzzle in the game that required a UV lens for your flashlight.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, play this game. It was great because the first fight in the game, you start with like 60 rounds of pistol ammo, and you run into a hellhound, and it takes you 45 rounds to kill it.
God, I remember that actually. That was in the demo.
Yeah. So through the rest of the game, I'm like, ammo's not worth, fighting's not worth it. Run.
Yep.
So I really like this game. It was dumb. Whatever. This movie comes out that's about called Alone in the Dark, and I know that Nightwish is going to be doing the credits song for it.
Yep.
So I'm all in for it. The movie was absolute shit. It sucked. It was awful. I didn't even like sit through the credits.
What was
I
the
so
movie
happy.
actually based on the game?
Barely, barely.
Okay,
The main
that seems to be a
character was
running theme.
called- Yeah, the character was named Cronby, like in Alone in the Dark. But
Ah, yeah, yeah.
this guy also did a House of the Dead movie and a bunch of others. But that in Blood Rain, he did Blood Rain.
Yep.
But he was running a particular tax scam in Germany where he got paid more money if it failed than if it succeeded.
Yep. Yep. Like
And
that.
go ahead.
There probably is like several schemes that we don't know about, where people like hype up something for a big release, get a whole lot of people interested, a whole lot of investors interested, and then just before it releases, when it's at the peak of its interest, that is when the producers take all the money and then like run off to Hawaii or something. All right, and then the entire thing flops. Someone lower on the rung is left holding the bag. It generates a whole lot of bad taste in everyone's mouth. Meanwhile, these people are living it up in like God knows where, probably an Epstein Island, more than like. Knowing Hollywood people.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's probably what people are trying to do with today's media, is that one person has successfully done it, and that's the other thing. If one person has successfully done it, everyone else is going to try to get on that bandwagon. So if one person has managed to screw the system, everyone else is going to try to screw the system, and then end result is you get a hollowed out piece of crap that is modern day entertainment.
God, I okay. It is hard to defend being a weeb,
Yes, it is.
but
There it is.
like huh? Oh, but the but is here. Um, I hate movies so fucking much.
Yep.
I hate movies. I hate any Western TV show that comes out.
Yep.
I hate. Oh God, there was a. I'm gonna type this in. Let's see.
Like the only thing that I actually enjoyed out of Western culture, there's two things of recent that I've enjoyed in Western culture. Those being, I can't actually fault you on that one. There are no punk bad guys.
Well, yeah, I'll get to that point later. That's why I typed it down. Go ahead.
But yeah, I was going to say the two things that I actually did interest me, but they don't anymore, was season 1 of The Witcher, and that's only thanks to Henry Cavill for actually getting people to say, getting people in line saying, no, this is how it actually happened. Screw what you're trying to do to the entire series. Like, Henry Cavill saved season 1. As bad as season 1 was, he single-handedly saved it.
Like I've heard, I've heard how, and people were like, "Oh, he's so toxic with his gamerness," about how he gets angry at how people wear their buttons. No,
He's just passionate.
Like he made the show watchable.
He's just passionate about the authenticity of it, and that is the one thing that sets him above the creator of Velma, is that he has authenticity.
Okay, I don't know a lot about Cavill. I really don't. I don't think I've ever seen anything with him in it.
Superman.
I haven't seen a Superman.
Okay, I have, unfortunately.
Not since the 70s. So like, but
You haven't missed much.
I've heard this before, and okay, I really hate to compare someone who I've never seen before to one of my gods, but oh god, what was the guy who directed the Lord of the Rings movies, the first 3?
Oh, jeez.
Peter Jackson.
I think that was him. Yeah.
Yeah. So Peter Jackson had this whole scene planned out of where Sauron, no, yes, yeah, Sauron was going to be stabbed and scream.
Yes.
And Christopher Lee, my Lord and Savior,
Yep. Stepped in and said, "No, you don't scream when you get stabbed in the back."
Yeah.
Because he was part of the British SAS at the time, and he did clandestine work where he actually did stab a Nazi in the back. You don't make a scream. You make a silent gasping noise.
Yeah.
Like that attention to detail is badassery in a nutshell. Like,
not to mention Christopher Lee knew Tolkien.
yep.
Like, he wanted to play Gandalf. Oh, that missed opportunity.
Still,
although
I
fair,
still think that he was.
Plays a,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say.
A great bad guy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is that I actually do like him in the role that he was played as. Sauron.
I'm just ass mad that I didn't get to see more Christopher Lee. That's all it really is.
Yeah. I mean, the only other movie that I know Christopher Lee from is, unfortunately, Star Wars Episode 2 and 3. He kind of got shafted in 3 because it was only like a beginning cameo and then he got his head lopped off.
Yeah, but he was fucking Dooku though.
Yeah. Like, okay, so this is again another tangent that we're going down. We haven't even touched our original topics, but fucking episode 2 was rewritten in 2 weeks before it was shot, and it shows. Like, the quality of the writing is shit. There's one guy that's on YouTube that rewrote episodes 1, 2, and 3 as better prequels, and honestly, yeah, the way that he writes it, everything ties in much nicer, makes more sense, and actually gives the titles their due. So, The Phantom Menace, one, he is a menace throughout the entire 3 movies. So, Darth Maul does die, but he comes back in 2 and 3. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Like, okay. So, this is actual Star Wars canon, by the way. When Darth Maul gets cut in half, he actually does survive, and he has, like, the lower half of his body is android.
Yeah, the robot legs.
Yeah. So, the guy that did the rewrite of episodes 1, 2, and 3 came up with this before that was canon. Kind of lends credence to this guy's creativity. At the same time, if you actually, and I'm kind of a sucker for Darth Maul. I actually like Darth Maul. If you
Look, we're in our 30s. Yeah, Darth Maul was our favorite character.
well, at the time when Phantom Menace came out, I was the target demographic, and I thought he was fucking cool. Thing is that he only had like 3 lines of dialogue, and he was only on screen for a maximum of 15 minutes. The thing is that it's not just the first movie that he's in, he's also in the expanded universe. If you actually take time and look at his story from start to finish, chronological, there's a couple of places that actually do detail it, all of Darth Maul's story from start to finish. It is an extremely well-written and compelling story. Like, his alone. Forget everything else. Just everything Darth Maul. Fucking beautiful. I think I actually have a video of that saved here somewhere.
I am looking
Yes,
for a
I
cutscene in a game. Hang on.
This video, watch it in your own time if you want, but it basically gives you a full depiction of who, what, and why Maul is. Like, and I just fucking love it.
Okay, as a kid,
Yep.
now, to me, my brother will always be older and wiser than me, but in reality, he's like 9 years older than me.
Yep.
But I remember coming out of, oh god, how old was I whenever the Phantom Menace came out?
I think I was like about 10 or 11 when it came out. It was like 2000, 2001.
It was 1999.
99,
Okay,
yeah, I was close.
So I was born in 1990, towards the end, so I was about 10.
Alright, I would have been 9 then.
I remember coming out of the theater with my older brother, who was probably 19 at the time, or 18.
Yep.
We talked about the scene where Obi-Wan sits and meditates on one end of the force field after Qui-Gon Jinn was killed.
Yep.
And Darth Maul's on the other end pacing.
Yep.
And he talked about him pacing like a predator, like a leopard or something.
Like a caged animal, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, Darth Maul is cool as fuck.
Yeah. Like, God damn. The thing is that in the expanded universe as well, like, uh, a lot of media that surrounds Darth Maul is in that that weird 3D animation that Star Wars does. The thing about that is, I tried actually watching those, and it gets very close to actually getting interesting for adults, but then it remembers, oh, this is a children's piece of media. We need to scale it back. We need to dumb these characters down all of a sudden. Like, if you actually watch it, you can tell when the writers are like, oh shit, we need to scale this back. Like, you can tell. Every single scene with Maul, throws that out. Like, there are moments in this children's show where Maul just goes full on brutal. I mean, of course, they do censor killings and that sort of stuff in a creative way, but point is that, yeah, Maul pulls no punches. Everyone else does, but he doesn't. But yeah, that's enough of me flating a. That's enough of me talking about that.
No, it's
don't get me
fine.
don't get me started with Revan.
Baby, talk all you want about Revan. Like, I was sitting here thinking, I was gonna throw out the who's your favorite Jedi because I was gonna say Qui-Gon Jinn, but then you bring up Revan. It's like, no, that was my favorite Jedi.
Yeah,
like Revan was the most badass motherfucker.
Honestly, anyone who is a true Star Wars fan, it's Revan. It's always Revan.
Revan was so fucking cool.
Who's your favorite droid? HK-42. Like any of the new kids might say, "Oh, BB-8, oh, R2-D2." Nah, HK-42.
So, okay, the first time I played KOTOR,
Yep.
I got it on PC, and I had a PC that could barely run it because I was like 13 or 14 or some shit like that.
Yep.
Um,
Had a full 1 megabyte of memory, and that was large.
yeah. So I played this game, and that's what got me into Star Wars, because I did not like Star Wars before I played that game.
Yep.
And Otto he fucking loved Star Wars. And that was like we started bonding over that, but like he liked the movies and I liked that game.
Mm-hmm.
A few years later, I finally sat down and watched the prequels and whatever, and understood more about that, like who the fuck Luke Skywalker was.
Yep.
But it was whenever we were about 19 or 20, up in that age range, that I
1
get
second. Someone's at the door.
Okay.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
It's alright.
Not sure how much of that you were able to hear, but apparently my parents saw that there are 3 jobs going at a bus line, so that's just around the corner from me. So there's like a bus driver wanted, a diesel mechanic wanted, and admin wanted. 3 things I do not have qualifications for, but could be interesting if I was like a diesel mechanic. I'd have to get an apprenticeship for that though.
Oh god, family recommending me for jobs that I'm not qualified for makes me want to strangle them.
The other thing that I was talking about was so this happened earlier this week. Our washing machine crapped out on us. Well, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself actually. My mum noticed that the washing machine was making a high-pitched squealing noise. So my dad goes to have a look at what the problem is. Manages to find out... Go ahead.
Buy a new washing machine. It doesn't matter if you can fix it, it's just going to break just as fast. I fixed that washing machine like 18 times. It wasn't worth it. I should have just bought a new one.
It was making a swilling noise. My dad gets in, finds what's making the swilling noise is like a belt or something, and then fixes that problem. But as soon as he puts everything back together, the electronics don't work.
Yep.
So he takes out. There's two circuit boards on it. He takes out one of them and notices that like the solder it's a real shit job. Like it's crystallized and everything. It's like a dry solder joint and all that. So he goes through and resolders everything better because they don't. He uses like a better soldering filament than what they used when they were making this in the factory. So he puts the board back in, hooks everything up. The lights now come on, but nothing wants to work. Like you press the start button and it just does not want to work. I come home from work.
Sounds a lot like me fixing something.
Yeah, I come home from work, and I actually kind of get interested in this problem because I mean, hey, it's a fun little problem to nut out, and it also gave me time to spend with my dad. So we were basically looking at where the faults were, and we basically went down to, okay, so where does the water come in and what controls the water to come in and stop? It's these three solenoids that basically tell the water to jet in at these locations, the pre-wash, main wash, and the whatever else it was. It took us a while to figure out that it doesn't start at the main wash, it starts at the pre-wash. So we look at that solenoid thinking that, oh, it's probably an electrical problem. We put like probes over the over it. We find that it's got voltage. Okay, so if it's not a electrical problem, then it's probably a mechanical problem. But we stumbled onto a way that if we set it to like normal wash, so if we turn it on, set it to normal wash, start it, it won't start. So we turn it off and then turn it back on again. It remembers that it was starting on a normal wash and it will pulse a bit of water through, like at the very beginning, and then it will stop. So we kind of stumbled into that. So we've figured out that it's not a mechanical problem. So if it's not a mechanical problem and it's not an electrical problem at the solenoid, then logically the problem is not there, it's somewhere else. Now that's what I was saying at the time. My dad still wanted to tinker around with that area, so I'll let him do what he does. He eventually brought out this nifty looking pen that can detect whether or not there's magnetic fields nearby. I thought that was actually pretty cool. Anyway, he was test. Go ahead.
I don't see those too often, but I'm always impressed whenever someone busts one out.
Yeah. So he brought it out, and we were testing it by turning it on and off in our peculiar way that we did in order to make the solenoids work. The funny thing is that when we did that, even though there was voltage and there was movement in the solenoid, we could not get the pen to light up. So I thought to myself, the problem is not over there, it's over here by the boards. It's something to do with the boards, and if the wires are okay, because we've got voltage across it, it's not the wires, it's not the action over there, it's got to do with the second board. So either the second board has a dry solder joint or there's something else going on at that board. Lo and behold, turns out it is at that board. My dad figured it out a little bit later on, that it turns out that he accidentally put the plug in the 8th position when it should have been in the 7th position. And then once he did that, everything worked. Like, the wash cycle ran, all the lights came on, things happened when you push buttons. Even the pen that we talked about earlier started lighting up around the solenoids. It's like, the question, it baffles me though, and it still baffles my dad. We had voltage going to those solenoids. We had voltage going to them. So why did the pen not light up?
Okay. Something I learned in high school.
Yep.
Got this taught to me so many goddamn times. Electricity is an all or nothing thing. If it can't make the complete circuit, it won't travel through. That's a fucking lie. Electricity will half-ass its way all the goddamn time.
Yep.
It will sort of kind of find a ground and then send like that amount of voltage.
But even so, wouldn't the current like go through the roof if it does that?
As many live leak videos of Chinamen being burned to death with while pushing scaffolding into telephone wire, you think I would know, but
Yeah, yeah. Ah, jeez. But yeah,
go ahead.
it was a fun project that I got to talk to my dad with. We had many fun moments of nerding out with each other about applied electrical knowledge. Like, I'm actually surprised that I retained a whole lot of that information from tech college and subsequent employment. Right.
Yeah, I didn't get electricity until I was like 22. Like, I was way older than I should have been, and I only understood it because my brother was like, just think about, like, water.
I mean, yeah, that's what everyone uses though. It's like I prefer to think of it as magical spicy juice.
Yeah, magical spicy juice isn't, like, tangible, though. And where brother said, think about, like, water. Then it all made sense. And now my brother is retarded with electricity. He doesn't know how to use a volt tester. But that one thing he said,
Yeah.
like, oh, amperage is how big the pipe is, and voltage, and yeah, but
I don't know. I found it very. I actually kind of found it entertaining coming up with theories and possibilities, like bouncing ideas off of my dad, and then him bouncing ideas off of me. Like, it was actually kind of. It was very enjoyable. I don't get that very often.
I do that with my brother from time to time. He'll invite me over to like help with some problem he has, and
the other thing is that every time I came up with an idea that my dad hadn't considered, like the kind of facial expression that he gets of it's kind of like I don't want to say it's like a kid walking into a candy store, but his face kind of lights up like he hadn't actually considered that. Like, I don't know. It's very endearing. I loved it. I mean, at the time, my back was killing me because of the topic. Your numbers ain't shit, which I'll get around to eventually. But...
never managed to get my dad to do that. Through work anyway.
Yeah.
Because by the time I valued work, he passed away. But I'll always like just hold on to the fucking memory. He used to take the dumbest stances just so he could debate me about anything, and I love him for that. I love him.
Yep.
He picked up things like Hollow Earth was a big one.
Yep.
He would defend just so he could argue with me. Like, I didn't realize that's what he was doing until like 3 years after he passed away, but yeah, that's what that motherfucker was doing.
Oh god. The funny thing is that Jono did that with me for a fair while, but it kind of got like real grating after a bit because he was always the contrarian.
So how did Jonah do it to you?
Oh god. there's a number of ways that he used to do it, but there's one way in particular that stands out in infamy, and that was his idea of there being something like worse than a black hole called a green hole.
Okay, I've heard of black holes and I've heard of white holes. I've never heard of a green hole before.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, is that he invented something that is like supposedly worse than a black hole, and he'll defend it to the end of the earth, saying that nah, like I say worse than a black hole, like in air quotations, like oh god, I don't even remember like the whole meat of the argument, because at the time we were in Tasmania. This was when we were on the road in the later half of our time traveling on the road. Our sanity has long since passed. Like, we are well and truly fed up with everything. And I'm pretty sure he took the stance just so that yeah, he even told me this at one point, actually. He took this stance so that he could annoy me enough in order to claim victory in the end. Because I would get sick and tired of arguing against him, so therefore he gets a free run at victory, or some shit like that.
It sounds annoying.
Yeah.
Like, sounds like someone would punch someone over.
I was ready to punch him over it. Like... Yeah, some of the ideas that he came up with were absolute... Bullshit is too nice of a word for it.
So, I've been looking for a sound clip since you mentioned the word green hole.
Yep.
But green hole, all I imagine is hearing
Shrek's
Snoop
ass.
Dogg. No, I imagine hearing Snoop Dogg outside of a nightclub.
Oh, okay.
Like, before you get in, you just hear the bass and the... Just that
Yeah.
droning bullshit.
Yep.
And it... Yeah.
Like, yeah, you hear it and then you think to yourself, with this again.
Mm-hmm. So a green hole to me sounds like unending monotony. So...
Yeah, actually, that's kind of how it was described as well. But yeah, I have also heard of white holes, and I don't believe they exist. We haven't seen any.
I don't even remember what a white hole is, but I know I should know what they are.
Okay, the idea of a white hole is the theory that a black hole sucks everything in, including light. Light can't escape it, but that stuff has to go somewhere, so it comes out the other side, which is a white hole where everything comes out, including all the light.
Gonna be retarded here for a minute. Pretend like I know something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe.
Isn't that just
holes.
a wormhole?
I don't believe in the whole black holes or wormhole theory. I think it's just a gravity well that everything gets sucked into.
That's literally what it is.
Until the entire universe is sucked into a fucking black hole, and then a Big Bang happens again because it's too much material.
The big crunch, yeah.
Yeah.
I will actually disagree with you on that one.
Go ahead, because I don't know shit. That's just me bullshitting and throwing stuff out.
Yeah, no, I have heard that theory, and the only reason why I go against that theory is because you can achieve stable orbits around black holes. They're quite literally the same mass as a standard sun. Well, I say standard. What's a standard sun? They're the same mass of the sun that collapsed. It doesn't mean that they gain in suction power. It doesn't mean that they gain in vortices or anything like that. The only time that they ever gain mass is when rogue planets or rogue systems come within range that have a destable orbit. and that's when they gain mass. That's when they gain more gravitational pull, and thus that's when they start changing things around them. If you go into the center of our galaxy, the center of our galaxy is a black hole. The thing is that it's contained within a sun. Like, it's kind of hard to imagine that you have a sun, but on the inside of it is a black hole. Like, it's a hollow sun theory. But this actually does hold weight. And I can't explain it to you off the cuff of my head, but I do know of a video that explains it far better than I could. It's by Quartz Gazart. I need to find what video it is, but...
So, are black holes like magnets?
Yes, actually.
So, like, all I'm thinking about now is what happens if two black holes connect?
What happens is they start spinning around each other, very much like how you have two dwarf stars or anything like that, like in a binary. They start spinning around each other until eventually they merge into one. There's no great explosion.
Okay.
Like, it's just the critical masses of them both, the absolute dense masses, just into one to create an even denser mass. Whatever is in there, we don't know what's in there. Whatever is in there just gets even more mashed up than it already is. That's what we have observed from the outside.
My train of thought that led me there. In my pocket right now are two rare earth magnets.
Yes.
So all I can think is, like, it would have to be one or the other, right? Because if I put these magnets next to one another, either one of them is going to fire off and be as far away as it can be, or they're going to slap together. Like, it seems like an either-or situation.
Okay,
But
think of black holes. Think of black
brain.
holes as perpetually attracted to each other. Like, if they're within their own gravitational pull, they will always be attracted to each other, never repulsed. Unless like dark matter is involved, in which case all bets are off. So black holes, they're very much like opposite magnets that will perpetually attract with each other. Now imagine two insanely powerful rare earth magnets that are not only like powerful in their magnetism, but they're also like really hot pieces of metal, like just come straight out of the forge hot. So these two rare earth magnets will slam together while being like practically molten. Now, what do you think will happen when that happens?
They become one piece.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, like, they would instantly forge weld themselves together.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what would happen when two black holes merge. The question is, are you able to cool that piece of metal down to figure out how it has merged itself to the other? Like, would it be a round thing? Would it be, like, some sort of, like, some sort of decahedron? Or would it shape itself? Would it crystallize? Would it just be, like, a weird mass blob thing?
Oh god, what's the word? It's something like holy shapes. Divine geometry,
Yeah, it's like that, oh, God. I'm trying to think of those oblong, spherical things.
hang on.
It's like,
Let's see if...
it's like something non-Euclidean.
Oh, that's it. Sacred geometry. Sacred geometry is bullshit. Nature makes an orb.
Yep.
Sorry, geometry is a human thing. We like even shapes and clean angles.
Yep.
Nature doesn't give a fuck about that. We
Funny
don't
thing
have
that
any fucking octagonal planets or shit like that. They're all orbs.
oh god, it's a funny thing that you mentioned sacred geometry. The game that I'm currently playing right now, currently it's paused, but X4 Foundations has an alien that has 3 eyes, and this alien is like wholly religious and so far up themselves that everything that they see, touch, and do is to do with sacred geometry. Like, fucking hell. There's one of these aliens that like has one of his eyes like grayed out because it was like probably injured in some sort of fight or whatever else. But they seem to think that this guy's a heretic because he's only got 2 eyes, so he can't see the sacred geometries. Random side tangent. But yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, that was a random side tangent.
Okay. Might be a hot take. I don't know, but
Go for it.
I remember the hippy dippy stuff whenever growing up and like people with crystal healing and stuff like that.
Yep.
But they would point out like sacred geometry. Oh, these crystals grow in this way and whatever, and it makes them sacred.
If you jack off, you can charge this crystal.
It's my jack off crystal.
You got to take it off before you get on the plane. It'll mess with the plane's avionics.
That was a thing from a locale. He actually had a jack off crystal. I can't remember who it was though. Anyway, yeah, he had like a piece of quartz.
Yep.
He would wear it whenever he jacked off to store the spiritual energy or some shit. Anyway, to me, that's. I know we've had this talk before. Like, what is nature?
Yep.
Honestly, to me, everything is nature.
Yes.
I'm sorry, cars are nature. We're fucking animals that manage to like dig metal out of the ground.
We naturally evolved to be inquisitive enough to allow ourselves to invent ways of transportation that involved metal.
If you think that you need to destroy cars in cities, then you also think you need to destroy beehives and ant beds. Like,
yeah. The thing is that everything that we do as humans is observable in the animal kingdom. We're not the only animals on Earth to use tools. Otters use tools. Fucking crows, or ravens, whichever one, use tools and think 5 steps ahead.
crows and ravens are the ones I'm most impressed with.
Yep.
Like, those motherfuckers are smart.
Like, dogs have been, I guess you could say, bred to be incredibly smart and incredibly dumb as well. But German Shepherds being the prime example here, like, out of all the dogs, German Shepherds, I would probably say, are like one of the top 3 breeds of dogs that have been bred to be like incredibly smart for their capabilities.
They are actually third. In
wow.
almost every study. They're the third most intelligent behind border collies and hunting poodles.
Yeah, work dogs.
Yeah. And it's German Shepherds, and they're behind because a border collie can learn something within 2 commands, and a German Shepherd takes 3 before he really figures it out.
Which is still impressive.
It took an evening to train Boomer. He was so goddamn smart. Like, sit, lay down, roll over. The hardest thing to teach him was speak.
Mm-hmm. I would imagine the hardest thing to teach him would be quiet. Like, you know, when you do the whisper.
Quiet was on accident. We did quiet because we were trying to teach him speak, and he knew that he needed to make the mouth motion.
Okay.
But he didn't understand that he needed to bark yet. And then instead of doing our motion for speak, our hand sign for speak was hold your right hand out like a claw,
Mm-hmm.
put in your pinky and your ring finger, and sort of just make like a backward C.
Yep, yep.
So that was our sign for speak. Well, whenever he started doing
Mm.
the quiet noise, we I just started balling my fist up instead and pointing it at him and saying quiet. And whenever he would do that, I would reward him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he sort of learned that one on accident. He figured that one out on his own.
Mm. And even that the whole you taught him through a process of rewarding him for doing something. He doesn't actually know what it means. No bullshit. He does know what it means because it's the same way that we learnt how to do things that we like to do and don't like to do. It's the same risk reward feature. It's just that
Yeah.
we do it by giving him a treat. We learnt it by not getting eaten ourselves.
I learned that it is very rewarding to not stick a fork in an electrical socket because my mom beat the fuck out of me.
I'm glad you learned that. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, Mr. Take a coat hanger into a lightning storm.
Look, it was a bet. And I won that bet. If only for pity. But actually, this was actually kind of a story that happened when I was actually before 10 years old. I don't remember how old I was. But this was back when I was living at the previous house. My dad had the on-off switch for...
And I unplugged my mic. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I saw
I
that
was
for a
talking
bit.
to nobody. I was talking to nobody for a second. All right.
Yeah, I thought you muted yourself to deal with the dogs or something.
Nah.
But yeah, back when I was like, before I was 10, I think I might have been somewhere along the lines of like 6 or 5 or something like that. But one thing that I used to do was, I used to run my hand down the hallway while I walked. I think, oh god, actually this might have been much earlier than 5. I might have been like 4. Anyway, so I used to run my hand down the hallway as I walked to my room. And my dad had the light switch out of its socket because he was working on it. And for some reason, power was still onto the house and the light switch was on to the bathroom, whatever else. And my finger, I don't know if I intentionally did this or not, I don't remember. I was probably dumb enough to do it intentionally. Got in behind the socket to where the cables were.
Yep.
And my finger bridged the gap between the positive and negative. Now, it was just my index finger. And it stung like all fuck. Like, god damn. Yeah, because I was like so young, yeah, I bawled my eyes out because it's 240 volts going through my finger.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that I didn't have any lasting damage. Like, at all. But, yeah. Small anecdote from young Annie.
12 years older. That's how much older my brother is. Because every male in our family is 12 years apart.
Oh, jeez.
Until you get to Brad. And then it's a clusterfuck. But I remember that now. Because that reminded me of a story. I was probably 9. Christmas happens.
Yep.
I get a pair of Pikachu slippers.
I got Charmander slippers.
So I had these Pikachu slippers. Now, I discover something with these Pikachu slippers. That I have a superpower. And that's electricity. If I drag my feet along the carpet,
Yep.
I can snap somebody. So I am wearing Pikachu slippers, and I think I have electric powers.
Yep.
So, my brother, who is probably 21, 22 at the time,
Mm-hmm.
is asleep on the couch in the living room because that's where our main heater is, and it's the warmest room in the house.
Yep.
Hang on. He's also sleeping without a shirt on. Now, I'm not going to say my brother is unfit, but I've had abs my entire adult life, and he had a bit of a beer gut at 21. What the fuck were you doing, bro? Anyway.
Yep.
So, I think this is going to be great. So I start charging up and just walking in circles in the living room for like 30 minutes, probably, building up a charge.
Getting all the electrons. Yep.
Yep. And then I scoot over to him real quiet like, and I poke him in the belly button. It is a pop.
Yep.
I don't remember how it felt because I was immediately kicked. And I was kicked hard enough. I know you've been in the house before. You probably don't remember what our living room looked like, but where the couch was
Yep. I remember.
on the far wall, I flew from right there to in front of the back door. So that's a good like 13 feet. I was launched.
I want to imagine that kick was from the electricity alone. I want to imagine that.
Oh, God.